welcome to a moment with Vivacious. Welcome to a moment with Vivacious, a freedom ride where we the people gather to build ourselves, our family, our community, and our nation. For the sound of America for Progress has reached critical mass. Understanding that we must put aside our differences to focus on the greater good. This is a place of collaboration to rebuild and restore our nation. Welcome to a moment with Vivacious. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, and welcome to a moment with Vivacious. This week I'm in New Orleans. My great nephew graduated from St. Aug. Of course, we're going to have a drop of that graduation. It was 115 young black men with over $115 million in scholarships, and 100% of them going off to college. 60% is staying in the state, 40% is going out, and most of them are at HBCUs. We're all excited about that. And of course, I'm in New Orleans, so we're celebrating our families, celebrating, I promise we're not missing anyone, celebrating Jay and the rest of the class, because again, it's New Orleans, so most of the class is our friends, right? Right. If you know, we're auntie to so many people that we meet, because that's just the New Orleans way. I was this morning at breakfast. Of course, I'm at my sister's house, and this morning for breakfast, we had the traditional New Orleans breakfast and the way it was prepared. And of course, on our way coming home from the graduation, we went to, we stopped and got some beignets, but that's just the way it is, right? It's nothing like home, no place like home, and nothing like family. Well, today we don't have a guest, but you have me. And I want to talk about one of the greatest possessions we have together, and that would be love. I think that love is one of the greatest, not one of the greatest attributes that we have. And I think love is spiritual. Now, why I think love is spiritual? I think love is spiritual because you feel it, you experience it. Love can engulf you. And it's just certain signs of love. When you think of all your other emotions like caring, happiness, joy, sadness, anger, it is all structured and set upon the foundation of love, negative and positive. Love is a good thing that we're all born with. We're all born with love and the ability to love. Love is a good thing. You see a family that don't have any material possessions, but the love they have for one another keeps them growing and growing and growing and growing. And love so does not fit the definition of every day. Every day, people think of love, somebody giving you something, and it is because love is giving. Love is a giving thing. For those of us that are Christians, for God so loved the world that He gave. And when we love, we want to give. And that's why in a relationship, when you have two people, and I'm going to start with man and woman first, or mates. When you have two people come together, the love is not a taking thing. They each are giving. They give one to another. They find out what each other love, what each other like, what each other need. And that's what they give every day. And that's how people grow together and become one. And then you find with parents. Parents love their children. And when you love your children, you give. you give, you give. And then when those children love you back, y'all saw the little baby that runs his mom, jump in her laps, hold her face, kiss her face, cry when they have to leave, because love is giving. When you have friends, and I'm just making this name up, Sheila's your friend. And Sheila, you think of what Sheila need, where Sheila's short, and you give Sheila, and then when Sheila knows where you're short, and she gives you. Well, tell me what love is. You can hold it in your arms, but you can't touch it. And it's such a strong feeling. It can make you cry, happy tears, and cry, sad tears. Love is our most valuable possession. Love is the most positive thing we have. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna go, and I don't want to talk negative, but I want to give examples. Okay, um, some children, like I said, I believe that we're all born with love, but some children, when they're born and growing up, never they have love, but it's undeveloped because they never they don't get to experience the joy of love, the giving part of love. Because that person who is sent to heal them, whether it's a parent, a foster parent, or grandparent, they don't know how to give that positive love. When you have some grandmoms, people gonna say no, it's not true, but it is. They'll love their daughter's children in a different way than they love their son's children. I heard a grandmother one day, all of the grandkids were there, her son's children, her son's daughter, and all of her daughter's children. And she gave all of those children something special. And she turned to the son's daughter and said, I can't give you that. You're not my child. I'm giving him that because that's my child, my children, but here you can have this. So it's like a hard knock. And some children are born in a special place, in a special place, I could say that because it's special, where they're not loved positively. The people who were sent to love them hurt them. And when they look at the world, they'll see that other child's mom or the person taking care of them. Everybody knows where I work, so I'm sitting at work and I'm telling the girl, look, do you have something to eat every day? Do you have a good place to stay? Then you should stay at that home. Don't try to leave that home because you can be in a much worse place. Well, I don't have a phone. Her children have a phone. And is dismantled. I said, okay. Are you going to have a phone in your new house? Who's going to have a phone in your new house? Where are you going? Are you going in a home? Are you going with a family? Or are you going with a group home? But so many negative things had happened that she wasn't thinking about um, love in a positive way. Because if this is love, I'll try it somewhere else. And then some people grow up and in a home or in a situation. Some people grow up in situations. Grow up in a situation where there's very little positive. The parents might fight. The dad might abuse the mom. And we don't want to believe this, but there are some men that are abused by their wives, or they see their daddy abused, and they grow up. They grow up without with thinking that that's okay, thinking that that's all right, and then we wonder why why she's letting this boy beat her like that. Well, That's what she told. That's what the explanation her mama gave her. Her mama gave her the explanation of, "Oh, your dad, he loves us. Don't worry about it. Mom is gone all the time, and then there's no one there to feed positively, and really the children are growing up on their own without the experience of love. Now, love can't be equated and shouldn't be equated with material things. Love shouldn't be equated with um, material things. Material things, first of all, they corrode. They're gone. They're not forever. But love is forever. And I'm gonna tell you, real love will get you through when you have nothing or no one else. I remember, here I go again, telling the story of my mom passed. My mom had a love for us that I don't think any of us ever had since the day she died. And I can tell you that love took me through all of my days. And sometimes that love still takes me through. My mom thought I was beautiful. The world didn't. I said, Mama, I want my name to be Gloria. And my mom was so hurt because she loved my name, and I would never dare say it to my dad because he thought of the name. So my mom said, "Why do you want your name to be Gloria?" And I said, "Because Gloria is close to gold, and I want to be a superstar. You know, like my mom was one that got your dream early. You know, I want to be a superstar when I grow up, and I want y'all to know, as a child and as an adult, I did see some terrible days. I went through some mental health issues um, that pain can cause when whether you're grown up, whether you're a child, anxiety, uh, depression. Depression is not just somebody being sad. The pains of life. Um, I think of PTSD. I used to think, oh, they making that up. PSD, how you get to be all of that? Because at first it was only military and soldier, but then I come to find out that PTSD is far more than happen to certain um, soldiers. PTSD can happen in our everyday life. You know, my sister was saying that after mom died, she went to live with someone else, and she was telling me that, some of the things this lady would tell her, and how often the lady would say, "Pack your clothes, I'm bringing you to your dad." And the instabilities in life for a child. It's hard for us grown-ups. You know, I'm sorry, it's hard for us grown-ups to go through that. So, and I just went off a little bit because I want to, I'm setting a foundation for where I'm going with this, okay? So we go through those experiences. And then we find out that um, we grow up, we receive all the negativity, we caught beatings all the time just because we're us. You know, some children, their parents don't like them because of the other parent. That dad is different and that mom is different, so you get treated differently. So, but it's by the same people that's supposed to love you. And in development, because we don't talk about what love is, a lot of us don't know what love is. So we don't know how to talk to our children and our grandchildren and raise them up with the positive um, understanding of love, because a positive understanding of love is needed throughout life. So we're gonna start with the first love. I know they have a lot of understandings. I mean, not a lot of understandings. Well, it is. Those people understand that. Well, a lot of descriptions of love, but I don't believe there's different kinds of love. There's one kind of love, but it's shown differently and different with different people. Okay? But the first love, the first person we should all love is ourselves. But when somebody, um, I'm gonna come back on this with my mom. When somebody comes in, or life comes in, and it beats that child down, you bad. You ain't gonna never know. Why I knew it was you. I heard a counselor one day tell a little boy, why did I know it would be you causing the problems? Oh, I was just so infuriated. And not being prejudiced, I said to the person that was standing to me, you see what just happened? That's the way white men think of our boys. So I pulled the young man over and I began to just commend him on the beautiful attributes of his life, on the beautiful part of his character. I want y'all to know today, I don't care how bad people tell you your child is. I don't care how bad you feel like your child is. I don't care what situation your child has decided to take in life. Let them, teach them, take them to that loving side of them. Unleash the power of greatness that comes to their life through self-love. You're not only great if you're beautiful, because guess what? Beauty is an opinion. Who's thinking and what do they think beauty is going to make you physically beautiful. I remember it wasn't long ago somebody said, oh, isn't she beautiful? I said, oh, she's not beautiful to me. She's not a bad looking person. But our features, our physical features, have nothing to do with our beauty. Because I want you to know that God created each and every one with a purpose, each and every one of us. So to tap into your beautiful self, you have to tap into purpose. He's our creator. And he said, I created you in my image and in my likeness. And he also says, I am love. So there's a greatness of giving, a power side that's inside of you that exudes the power to arrest any ugly thing that exists in anybody in your life. And that is love. And it's absolutely positive for your children. I worked with my supervisor recently, and they always say, "Oh, she loves the bad children. The bad boys, they're gonna be all around her. She loves the bad boys." And you know what? The boys that they label as bad and give all the negative names to, and attitude, and punishment, and first of all, we shouldn't even be punishing. But anyway, I tap into the love side. And my prayer every morning God, who is this child? And how am I supposed to be the God-like approach today for them? Who is that in me and who is that in them? And I promise you, every day I go to work and I pray that prayer. The child that everybody else dreads, the world sees a whole nother side. Because God created us all with the power of love. And when He says, love your neighbor as yourself, you unleash that power inside of you, the greatness inside of you. Tap and connect with that greatness. Yes. Tap and connect with that greatness. Tap and connect with that joy. What makes you happy? What is the thing that you always love to do? And I ask people that, whether they're 8, 18, or 88. And I'm telling it to you right now, whatever it is that you love to do, that's the foundation of who you are. Because that's your love power. That's your love power. Everything functions at its highest functionable ability when you're operating in love. Tap into your love power. When you look at yourself and you start your self affirmations in the morning, when you touch inside of you, when you look in that mirror and you say, first of all, I'm beautiful. It has nothing to do with how you look, but everything to do with how you see that quiet power that lays dormant inside of you. You know, my grandchildren repeats my poem that I made with all the attributes that I feel in myself, except the only attribute that's missing out of this poem I'm about to say is fierce. And the poem is, I am vivacious. I am extreme and bodacious. I'm all of that, y'all. I'm beyond the time of most people's minds. My attribute. I'm never in the middle, but I'm in the right place to produce what we need. And everywhere I go, I'm producing what that atmosphere needs. And anybody who who knows me, I'm sorry, and is honest with you, they'll tell you that's her. I attain every dream and desire and deed. And yes, I do. And that's an attribute. I remember I had a guy working for me in the same when I first started. And he says, you know, everything you say you're going to do, you do it. Whether you believe what I believe, I don't really care. Please know I don't. Because I'm pushing through the pain of the process. Because favor is just not fair. And I thank God for His favor that rests on my life to do the things that He created me to do. And that is why when I walk in an atmosphere, it changes. Because I understand that I'm made in His image and His likeness. And His word will not return to Him void, but it will produce everything He created it to do. And I said that to say, if you come across a child And sometimes, mama, somebody might listen to this and they're stuck in a place. They're stuck in a place where life has hurt them and set them back so bad, you know. And um, one thing people always tell, oh, said people, oh, you have too many children. You have all these children. So that makes a mama feel negative about her children. When the Bible says that your children are arrows in your quiver, your children is what empower your life. So you have to know where you are and who you are, and every one of those children that God gave you. And maybe y'all went through a hard time. Maybe y'all went through a time that was homeless. Maybe you're living in a hotel. But it's not too small a place to lay back on the bed or sit up in a chair or even get on your knees. Say, God, who am I? Why are we going through this? And who are these people that you gave me? Who are these children? How can I be encouraged in them? How can I grow them? How can I strengthen them? That when they grow up, they're not carrying the burden of survival, but they're carrying the love of life. I can't say step A, B, C, or D because I don't know it. I don't know it because each individual, if you have 5 kids, each of those kids are different. And your approach to them is going to be different. But I promise you, God has a purpose individually for each one of them. And He will expose it in prayer if you believe. Another thing, some of us have been so hurt. Some of us have been so beaten down in life till you can't even conceive what I'm saying. But I want to tell you today that you are beautiful, that you are lovely, that you are talented, that you are graced. Even if it's just the sound of your voice. I know that God gave me a power in my voice. My voice is healing. Yes, it is. But even in the sound of your voice, your tears, God has counted them. And He's going to place them back in your life as you turn to Him with diamonds. Go over your life. For the first part of this year, it's almost halfway over, that has passed. All of last year. And then go back when you were a little girl. And think about times that made you just laugh. Times that made you just happy. I remember my brother, every time he was in the military, both of my brothers, they joined the military early so that they can get away in life, fighting to get away in life, okay? So my brother came back and he was on leave from the army, he gave everybody money. But for me, I was standing there waiting for money. And he said, I have something for you under the tree. And he sent me to look for it. It was a gift. And when I opened it up, it was a pair of slippers that I loved so much. And it was everything I wanted. And that meant more to me than any amount of money. But my brother took time to love me enough to know that. But I know that about me. So with that, that's 2 assignments. To know that you love yourself is to know that what makes me happy. And sometimes you just have to sit back and think about it. What made you laugh? And sometimes you have to go all the way back because it's been so long ago that you laugh. You ever remember laughing and you couldn't stop? And I'm going to tell you one more thing that helps you love yourself. If anybody talk to you and ask you to do anything or to participate in anything, think about what is it going to do for you? What's going to happen to you? How are you going to be blessed by that? Will that bring addition? Anytime you're making a decision to do something in life, think about it all. How is this going to affect me? How am I going to make this happen? Who is this going to hurt and involve? Who is this going to bless? Yeah, I want to do this because I want to see this. And that's one of the first steps to walk into your love for yourself, is to think about you and the outcome of your daily decision. And then when you have people in your life that you love, whether it's your mate or your children, yes, how will this decision that I'm making exemplify love in their lives? I was just talking to a young girl. She's excited. Her and a guy, they get married. And she said, well, I got this job and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, did you talk to your husband first? Well, no, I ain't talk. I said, well, it's different. When you were single and living alone, you can make those decisions. How is the decision that you made going to affect your relationship? Because once you bring somebody else into it, you have to consider them and consider their feelings and give them love. Remember, the Bible said, husbands, love your wives, wives love your husband. Children love your parents, parents love your children. He never said nobody to go get love, but he's told every one of us to give love. Love produces healing. Love brings great things into fruition. So if you find yourself today a mom and you're in so much pain that all you can do is supply your children with food to eat and a place to stay, no matter where that place is. If the place is in a hotel, thank God, they could take a bath at night, y'all could eat, and y'all could roll together until you do better. If it's in a car, thank God you had a car that y'all could live in till you can do better. But you're going to do better faster loving yourself. And I find that some kids, they're not loving their parents. They're upset with their parents because their parents don't give them all the things that other children parent give them. Well, I applaud your parent on not giving you all of that. And as I say all the time, why in the world do anybody need a phone for 24 hours? I was talking to my niece the other day and I said, well, did you read the book? I wrote a book and I had to redo it. And, that's a whole nother story for another time. I said, well, did you read the book? She said, this phone. Is this phone. It's this phone. It just, I don't do that. I got to put this phone down so I can read. And reading is a very big part of her life. A very big part of her life. So sometimes we let obstacles come in to block our love. And sometimes, moving on, our children, I said this earlier somewhere in this love conversation, our children are not loved because of who their other parent is. Well, your daddy is this. Well, your mama is this. We should not allow that to happen, first of all, in our families. We should not allow children or anybody to do that. But it's your place to make sure each of your children know the good part of who they are as individuals. We do inherit some things down the line, but mostly, let me say that I want to say that we can develop who we are. We can develop that love side of us that will develop everything about us. I went to, like I said in the beginning, opening, a graduation today where children were lucky enough to be in a place 110 or 150, I don't remember, 115 young black men graduated from high school. Not only did their parents give them love, but they put them in a positive place where black mentors, mostly men, raised them, taught them, school. It starts from 8th grade. So they all grow up prosperous. Why? Because it's the love. It's not free. The school is not free. But no matter where, they could have paid for that love. It couldn't happen like that, y'all. And I'm going to talk about, because we've talked about children and we've talked about families. I could talk a little bit about sister love. Some things about me irritate the devil, that place where he lived, out of my system. Let me tell you something. My sister's the greatest soldier in my army. How she does it, I don't know. She have 2 daughters. She have her grandkids. She have 2 sisters, well, 3, and 2 brothers. And we all think we're the favorite. My sister sacrificed a lot for my life. My sister loves me more than anything, but I aggravate the daylights out of her. When I was 18, I became Baptist. I joined the Baptist church in law. When I joined the non-denominational, y'all. So my family is Catholic. So in the graduation, everybody's sitting and nodding. It was Catholic. And what was I doing? My sister gave me the ugliest look. I still can't stop shouting. That's who I am. I'm working on a nerve. But as much as I worked on the nerves, I know how much my sister loves me. And I know that amongst myself and other people, my sister knows the greatest attributes of my life. And she never, ever, never let a day go by without, and we don't live in the same state, okay? Without me acknowledging her and her acknowledging me. And my other sister, she's not that talkative. She's not like us. I may not talk to I may not talk to her every day. I may not even talk to her every week. But more than 2 weeks that will go by, but we affirm one another in every conversation. So whether the things are good or whether they're bad, I know and experience their love. And that's what saved, I believe, each and every one of us. As old as I am today, and I'm a grandmother, I remember my mom believed that I would be a superstar. Even if she didn't believe it, she let me dance on top of her furniture. I used to stand on top of her um, coffee table and shake dance. And I still like to shake dance till today because I thought I was a superstar. And my mom embedded that in me for 8 years before she left me. And days when it was horrible and all I had was tears to cry from the bottom of my gut, the joy and the love and the affirmation of who I was from my mother that she gave as a child kept me going every day of all of my life. And I'm just glad that I learned to love me like I love me so that I can teach my daughter how to love herself. Because when you love yourself, you're going to set boundaries in your life. No, you can't cross that. That's it. There'll be points where you say no. That's a game. That's a game changer for me. That's a game breaker for me. And stand on that. It doesn't affect how you feel about that other person. But that game, you're not gonna play that. You know when you set those boundaries for your life, and when you have those boundaries for your life, you are able to love everybody that comes into your life and love them in spite of who they are because of your boundaries, because of your that you have for yourself and the love that you give. You put them in that perfect place for them. Now I'm going back to the love of a man and a woman. The first part of love between lovers is again, first of all, loving yourself and to know not who that person gonna be. You know, sometimes we have this, especially women, we have this imaginary stuff. Or sometimes your grandfather told you, look, your wife needs to do this, don't follow all that. No. Decide who you are. Because when you want to be equally yoked, what do equally yoked mean? Are our goals and aspirations in life the same? Are our values and morals the same? Don't get hooked up on, Lord, that dude is fine. When I look at people, I look at, what they have to offer in this place that I have in life now. But there was this guy, the guy had a lot to offer. I mean, I'm really intrigued by the guy and his intelligence. But let me tell you something. That guy was some kind of fine, okay? So I thank God for who I love. I'm developed in who I am and my emotions. And the love in me is totally developed. Because he was so fine, he would have had me in a place that I would have been trying to get myself out of if I didn't know that didn't fit. You know, you're one of the most intelligent people I ever met, and all of that, and you're fine as heaven. Okay. However, let's stay with your purpose, where we rubber meets the road in our lives, because everybody is not that person that God sent for you to be with like that. And if you're a person that says, I want all these people, just tell these people I just want to date you. Don't try to get into a relationship with people like that because people get hurt and you want to give off love, okay? And another thing is when you meet that person, oh wow, this how did you say you don't look like what I want? I had this 6'9" muscle bound 6-pack. You don't look like none of that. But you sound like will feed my soul. And when you start thinking about yourself and where you want to go, and that's that person, it's like, wow, wow. Because you've tapped inside of love, which is an open door to your soul. And that's why we call those people a soulmate, because they match everything inside of me that I know God promised me with the person that I'm going to spend the rest of my life. But sometimes we get hooked on those other things. If it's tangible, you can get it from anywhere. But that thing that only touches soul, you can only get it from that place. I enjoyed talking with you today. I enjoyed our time together. Hopefully, in a few weeks to come up, we're going to have Mr. Scotty. I'm so sorry we had some technical difficulties and he wasn't here today. But I enjoyed coming to you on my sister's patio, porch patio. You know how we do in New Orleans. We have porch patios with our French doors, and I'm just intrigued of my home and my culture. There's no place like home, but there's no place like New Orleans. And I thank you for joining me today. And look, all I can say is love. Love heals all things. Everything functions at its highest functionable ability when it's fueled by love. And what makes us successful to God is love. And I always tell people, hear people say, I always hear people say, oh, I don't know how God could love me so much. Because Him loving you has nothing to do with Him. Because love is giving. See you next week, and I was so glad that you're here with us today. Um, Next week we'll be back live, and I'm excited about it. So I'll see you then. Have a great life, and go out, getting in touch with you, and loving everything and everybody around you. See you soon.